there, and welcome to today's video. For today's video, I was putting down some lots here and there in Newcrest, and one of the lots that I put down was the little cottage house that I did not too long ago. And I thought we should add something here that might make sense as a cottage, but it could also make sense as a regular house if you really wanted to. So today we are building an A-frame house. This is a style that I've done similar roof lines here and there, but I don't tend to build many A-frames themselves. To me, an A-frame house is more where the roof is going to go all the way to the bottom, and that's what I don't tend to do. The reason being is mainly just because not so much of the roof line or the pitch or anything like that, because you can add it easily. It's more the lack of windows that gets me at the end of the day. Though I'm not too sure what I have against it, a lot of the houses that I end up building tend to be single-family homes, I guess you could say. But if we look at a lot of row houses or even apartments, chances are you're not going to have windows available to be put on every single wall. So I decided, why don't we try an A-frame house and see how it's going to turn out. For this one, I got some inspiration online, and I tried to follow the layout as best as I could, but there was something really, let's say, contradictory happening between what the floor plan says the house is and what the outside is showing. So some things in the floor plan, like the storage that it mentions and stuff like that, I didn't use a lot of it, since at the end of the day, there's not so much that you can use that is good for gameplay in The Sims. It would be more just so for decoration. And the thing in particular that got me debating how to do the upstairs versus the downstairs was the stair placement. We can start there since it wasn't wide enough to have the stairs where it needed to be. But going by the measurements of the items within the game, the house shouldn't have been any bigger. It should have been smaller, actually. So I worked around that and changed the layout upstairs quite a bit, since that was where the floor plan was also differing from what they had as the artwork for the outside. So there's a little balcony on the second floor, right on top of the downstairs balcony, and you can clearly see on the picture that there's supposed to be a door leading out to it, but on the floor plan, that just didn't exist at all. So I decided, since we're not going to be able to do the floor plan exactly as it's shown anyways, let's modify it a bit to be able to fit the stairs where they need to go. With that though, this went from a 3-bedroom house to a 2-bedroom, which there was a lot of space downstairs. I could have very easily put another bedroom down there as well, but I kind of like the idea of having it all be a bit more open. Since the stairs were the first thing I placed, I realized quickly that a lot of it wasn't going to work out the way the floor plan said anyways. So I also changed things like how the bathroom was laid out and how the kitchen was laid out. But at the end of the day, we were only using this as inspiration, not necessarily as a step-by-step guide. So for this house, admittedly, it might have been better if I built it in a completely empty lot, meaning not having the little cottage right beside it, since that was making placing items a bit harder than it needed to be for me. The camera just kept bouncing back and forth the whole time, which it's something I'm fairly used to by this point, building all those tiny houses, especially when you're working on several floors. For some reason, it likes bumping up, so you kind of get used to it, I'd say. I don't think the end result was that bad, but then again, I'm the one that built the houses and I know what I'm expecting, so I never know if my speed builds are way too fast or if they're bouncing around a lot. It's what I know is coming up and I'm expecting it, so I would say that's my bias, and if it's ever too fast for any of you, let me know. I can reduce the speed, I can make the videos a bit longer. Or, if you'd like a play-by-play of just me while I'm building it, that could also work, but let me know what your preference is. So the house itself, since I was building it with more of a cottage in mind, I wanted to keep true to what the original inspiration was, and it seemed to be the same thing of more of a cottage, let's say. So I wanted to have a lot of woods around. That's why most of the floor is wood, even though I debated whether to put carpeting upstairs at one point. I thought the wood would suit it a bit better. So with that, I did my best to try to match the colors, have them be a little more muted here and there. But for some reason upstairs there was a very weird glitch going on, where you'll see me here and there placing walls over and over again, especially in the second floor. For some reason it seemed like it wasn't really recognizing it as a room and only taking the roof. so I couldn't paint the wall that the roof was on without painting the whole roof, which that would then start affecting the facade, which wasn't the point of it all. So I decided to just leave the wall the way it was, try to work with it that way, but I still have no idea what exactly was glitching that out. It could be because I ended up putting floor tiles upstairs as well, basically to have the floor trim around the house, going all the way to the edge of the roof, but if it wasn't for that, I honestly have no idea what was wrong with the upstairs. So I tried to keep that color scheme in mind, and this is one of those rare occasions where I actually left the bathrooms. I did go back and play test it, so don't worry, the one that's uploaded will completely work. But I left the bathrooms this time around because it was a completely different feel and color scheme from what I usually do, and I thought they were quite cute, so I figured, hey, let's leave the bathrooms in there this time around. But anyways, we are getting close to the end of the video. I was going to do another community lot this time around, but I ended up wanting to do an A-frame house, and actually took a lot longer building it than I thought. My game by this point just seems to be getting very laggy. It might just be that my computer is reaching the end of its lifespan, but hey, that's nothing a little speeding up can't fix. And who knows, maybe I will end up getting another computer, maybe I won't. At the end of the day, I like my computer just the way it is. But thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great weekend!